Yeah. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the decks, you're not bullish enough. Traded in the size, you ain't trenching enough. Whoa, we do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Whoa, Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain revolution, networking the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me no way. OnChain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah, Nicky's. Yeah, OnChain revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, changing. Yeah, send it to the deck. Yeah, sell it through the stack. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live for the OnChain Hour, and today is going to be very risk on because yesterday, Jerome Powell cut rates 0.25, which now puts us into a rate cutting cycle. Another name for a rate cutting cycle is risk on. Right now, with markets being forward looking, we are now looking forward to a rate cut in October and a rate cut in December. And some are even saying a potential rate cut in January. That is a full point from where we are right now. And what that will do, including yesterday's, what that will do is that's going to put rates at a very sensible rate where people will take loans against their home. They will try to get liquid, and meaning they will try to get as much money as they can because they know what a crypto market bull run can do for them. They know now, with all the history from the past, they understand, hey, this is something I don't want to miss. We do have the U.S. government now okaying everything in crypto. The SEC came out yesterday and says, hey, this is a generic plan to list every crypto coin that's been trading on Coinbase for at least 6 months. That means we potentially, could have hundreds, if not thousands, of crypto ETFs entering the stock exchanges, the NYC, the NASDAQ, and stuff like that, and trading there right away. I mean, you're probably going to see 10 to 15 this year, and maybe, I don't know, maybe 400 or 500 next year. This is going to be absolutely amazing because now these guys, these TradFi guys, don't have to go far to invest in the assets that we're invested in. So just think about that for a second. These guys have trillions of dollars, right? Combined trillions. I mean, we're talking about Bitcoin with this as a $2 trillion asset. I mean, there's firms with $2 trillion, right? So BlackRock and some of these other ones. So this is going to be absolutely huge because now as a client for one of these companies, you say, hey, I want to get a little bit risk on. They can take 0.5-year portfolio and put it in Solana. They can take 0.5 years portfolio and put it into stuff like Agent Hustle. Who knows, right? Who knows how far down the risk curve they want to go. But I'm very excited for what is about to happen. I'm very excited for the next 6 to 12 months. My plan is to sell in May and go away. I've been saying it on the show for a long time. I'm in this for the long term, but the plan is to get back in potentially maybe in September or October of next year and kind of wait for the next thing. I don't think we're going to get a bear market anytime soon. I do think, though, profit taken and sideways action during next summer could be something that we just kind of seen over the course of the last month or so. So really excited for what's about to happen. Really excited for today's show. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. Bring my partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? You feeling risk on? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like the response for Bitcoin and Ethereum and the alt market has been good, but it played out kind of exactly how we said maybe people should look at it, right? If you tried to speculate the rate cut being positives, getting in before the actual rate cut, then you might have gotten liquidated just because a lot of people what's going to happen, but you got to wait for that volatility to calm down, right? And I think that's such a big lesson that people have to learn, including myself. But this last one was like clear as day. Marian, thanks to Marian that we have on the Trader's Edge, which is Artura's show that we help co-host on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. He said it himself, and that really planted a seed, I think, in my head, and said, hey, he's right, let it calm down. And it looks like it has calmed, and now it's starting to pick its trajectory to the upside. So excited to see how this week is going to finish and lead into next week and finish off September.
Yeah, 100%. I was watching the rate cuts live. And the Bitcoin chart, I don't know if you've seen it, it dumped, right after the decision. And then it dumped again right as Jerome Powell was speaking. And then got to the point to where I was kind of like, I remember you said this to me before, but I was like, stop talking. Just stop. Just go away. Just stop. Because the price kept dipping and dipping and dipping and got down to like 114 again. And then kind of bounced back up. Now we're seeing 117,696 as we speak right now. Ethereum back over 4,600. So everything's looking good. It feel a little bit, I don't know, murky a little bit right now because I feel like there's like no volume in the markets right now, but that's because I think President Trump is over at the palace in England, and potentially he's talking to NVIDIA and these other companies about getting a percentage of their companies. Trump wants them to donate to the U.S. Percentage of their companies, but hey, I mean, being, maybe companies want that. I mean, Intel basically wanted it. The U.S. now owns 10% of Intel. So right now, we're kind of waiting right now for what's happening. It is getting kind of late over there. So we'll probably know in a few hours what decisions and stuff like that are coming from Trump and what is happening in England today.
Yeah, and NVIDIA talked about kind of investing in the UK, so I'm sure there's going to be mutual benefits for that because it is a US company, right? So it looks like they're wanting to work more with the US than ever. I know that they need some wins over there, and so we could get some really positive kind of updates in terms of that relationship. So I'm excited for it. I'm ready for a lot of the stuff, headline stuff to chill out. And, we're getting through this first year of this new administration. And so I'm hoping, my hope is that we finish the year strong and we have a calm, but really productive and positive outlook for the economy here in 2026. And, rate cuts are planned and all these things. So we could see a really good first half of next year. And then maybe that's whenever it tails back some. But it's going to be interesting next year to pay close attention to see what, a post bull run year looks like in this new era of digital assets, because it is a new era for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Let's jump into the first thing here, which is a TK update. If you don't know, Trench Kitty, which is our mascot of the OnChain Revolution podcast, is now you can now stake your OnChain Revolution or Ordinal Revolution passes, and you will receive 35 million TK split up in all stakers with 22 passes staked. So that is absolutely awesome. Just a heads up, we will be doing another TK vault, very similar to this one, in the upcoming weeks. But after this one closes, we'll decide about the next one. But if you have an Ordinal Revolution pass, definitely stake it, because I think it is worth the 1.3 million right now you'll be getting for each pass. So that could be pretty epic, huge when this unlocks. So if you're interested in that, check that out. Trench Kitty is trading like the runes, very slow and sideways right now. So once we start picking up, I think Trench Kitty picks up as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. It is a rune too, so remember that. Yesterday, Stan, the CEO of Sats Terminal, gave me some new energy that I think I needed for the rune ecosystem. Just kind of maybe giving us a perspective from taking a step back or two, right? So TK is a part of that too. So runes thrive, TK should thrive as well. So excited for Q4 at some point. Runes hopefully kind of ramping back up here.
100%. All right, let's get into the main topic of today's show. 100 plus crypto ETFs coming? Question mark. Market bounces after a rate cut. Bitwise sees credit boom. Let's get into the first part of that. The SEC just approves the generic ETF standards. Fast tracks ETFs. No more 240-day waits. Could be 60 to 75. Eric Balchunas said in a post that the adoption of universal listing standards could significantly impact the crypto ETP or exchange traded product space. Not just the ETFs, but we might see trust and all types of stuff coming. Eric Balchunas is somebody who's been screaming this from the rooftop. And then just today, we got the Rex Osprey XRP ETF and the Dogecoin ETF. These are not spot ETFs, but the SEC has approved the spot ETF standards. So right now we're getting futures, and they're saying, hey, if you trade, in the futures area for 60 days, you automatically can get listed for the spot. So this is really, really good. The SEC, they've been working on this for a long time, and they finally put it out. So that's good.
I think it's really good. It's showing too that like the SEC is actually doing its job in terms of trying to give clarity. And if this is truly kind of a new process, right? Going, you don't necessarily have to, but if you do, it's kind of like that prepping for the spot, right? And so I can see other assets or entities that want to create these ETFs do so with kind of going down the risk curve, right, a bit, right? And so it's going to be interesting. It's definitely bullish in terms of TradFi getting involved because they're talking about hundreds now of ETFs. So now you look at the top 100 tokens, right, and you go through them and say, okay, a lot of these probably get on that list. Some of them might not. Maybe some that are above the 100 that have a lot of upside could get on. It's going to be interesting to see how they choose or how these new companies form and decide which asset they want to be specialized in.
Yeah, 100%. And like the big thing with this though is we've seen, over the course of the last 3 months, especially in June, I remember it was like almost every day, the SEC was delaying this ETF, delaying that ETF. And we were both kind of saying like, hey, we think October is going to be pretty big. And now we're sitting in September and they just approved this. So we might have been right on that because we might start seeing, it says right now that the ones that are likely to get the ETF in the next coming weeks are Sol, XRP, Doge, Link, and Litecoin, because these were the first trading on Coinbase's futures. So basically, when you trade on Coinbase futures, you already kind of meet all the guidelines that will allow you to have a spot ETF in the US. So it's one of those things now where they're saying, hey, just if you want to see who's going to get listed next, just go to Coinbase and see what you can trade on the perps. If you can trade this or that on the perps, it's a good chance that you're going to be able to see that in the ETF light. So, I mean, we're potentially could see a Sol, XRP, Doge, Link, Litecoin in-kind redemptions, which means, every stock is potentially an actual coin itself, whether it's Solana, Doge, or whatever. So that's pretty big too. You can actually, withdraw your tokens and go take a loan out on them or something.
Yeah, that would be even more, in my opinion, huge because, in-kind redemptions is a 1-to-1, right? That's the theory or idea behind it. But yeah, so I expect those that you named off to have spot ETFs by probably October, some point in October, definitely some point in Q4. And that's just the start, right? That is just the start. We're going to see how that affects, new DATs being formed, how much interest, how much capital pours into those. Also, how far, like I mentioned before, down the risk curve they go, or, because now you're looking at something that is a good project, but so new, a year and a half, 2 years maybe, that people are a little bit want to see more concrete evidence that it's solid here to stay. But you could experience that crazy upside because of something like an ETF, and then treasury companies forming directly after that. So
these ETFs will cause an up season or an alt season, right? I like to call it up season. I think we're going to see these lower capped alts really start moving here, because think about it this way too. Now these DATs, digital asset treasury companies, no longer have to go buy the asset; they can just go buy the ETF, right? Because if it's in-kind redemption, it's the same thing, right? And for them, they don't want to custody their. And I actually think it's kind of scary to have all these TradFi companies custody in their own crypto, because we do know that it can get brutal, even for a company like, what was it? BitGet. What was the company that got BitGo or something that got hacked, a couple months ago for like an insane amount of Bybit. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where I'd rather them hold the ETF and then Coinbase kind of be the custodian of that, because obviously you can buy and sell paper wise, and Coinbase doesn't even have to move the asset. They just got to put a number on the paper saying, hey, this ETF owns this, or this company owns this, right? So
yeah. Yep.
All right, let's kind of get into the next thing here. Crap, I thought I had that. But it's
one thing I did want to mention that this could create, and many people I don't think about this could happen, is you got to think about the past, let's say 2 years, 3 years. We've been covering the space since 2023, started in Bitcoin, but the traditional Web3 VCs, they got wrecked because they believed in possibly like this Bitcoin meta carrying over, even though it wasn't bull market time, and then they continually got wrecked up and still, but what could happen is some of these VCs lost faith or lost funding and they lost their money, but what could happen is the ETF kind of surge and energy could bring them back, and they could find different ways to raise money, and then that could create that avalanche effect of being the alt season that you just talked about. Could you see a scenario like that? Because I think it's going to take that for them to believe that, okay, this is a time for me to make money again finally.
Yeah, I just feel like a lot of them got so a lot of them were departments of a VC, right? So it was like every giant like hedge fund had a crypto department, and they were the ones investing. Maybe not those exact ones, but I do think newer products or newer companies who didn't really participate last cycle are going to come in even stronger and with more money than last, because we do know that these are now like long living assets that'll be here for a long time, especially the top 6, right? So it's one of those things where it's like maybe. I mean, you might be right. Like you could see them,
I'm talking about the ones that we even experienced their kind of, they made bets in 2024, and a lot of them did not paying off because there wasn't liquidity over here, like the ABCD capitals and those types that, you know what I mean? So maybe a lot of
you mean from 2023? I thought you meant from 2021.
So the ones that were betting on performance from 2023, but a lot of them put their money in 2024, right? And a lot of them were Asian VCs, I would say, for the most part, and they got wrecked pretty hard. And but they were very careful, I think, in a lot of 2025, because I mean that hurts when you lose that much, right? I think that there's an opportunity for them to come back, but it's going to take conviction, but ETFs and liquidity draw from those is something that I think they can believe in and be like, okay, now it's time. I will make money on this one, and they'll find ways to raise money.
Well, I don't. Asia's in a full bull run right now. I mean, with BNB and Merlin, and not to mention their stocks. I mean, all their stocks are flying right now. The entire Chinese stock. I mean, we're talking Alibaba, we're talking JD. They're all flying. Asia's in a full bull market right now, and everything on BNB is up. So to them, the Asian investors, they're probably already making money.
Already started.
Guys don't. Yeah, those guys don't pivot either. It's not like they have divisions like the U.S. companies do, where you have a crypto division. A lot of them are just all in. Go ahead, crypto, and you know what I mean. So over here, though, I do think that every hedge fund, they're working on crypto investments right now, and I do think once they get their feet wet a little bit, they're going to get riskier and riskier trying to find the next big things, right? And I think that is going to be huge for a lot of these smaller companies, like Asia Hustle and stuff like that, where they're kind of being like, okay, wow, this could be something that runs here, and they're going to get further and further down the risk curve, and going into even in the trenches, trying to find some stuff that could outlast, right, and actually has a real team and real devs behind it. So I'm 100% looking forward to that for sure.
It should be exciting times if that happens, especially East and West VCs kind of piling back in because the belief is back. That would be awesome.
100%. Bitwise CEO says crypto credit and borrowing will explode in the next 6 to 12 months. I mean, you're already seeing it right now on Coinbase. Coinbase has, I think $100 billion in loans against their Bitcoin alone, right? What's going to happen when people understand, like, hey, you can get your loans against your Ethereum, against your Solana, against your XRP, against your. So it's like, hey, you don't have at the end of the cycle, you don't have to technically sell your asset. Just take a loan against it, right? I mean, obviously, you want to take a safe loan where you can't get liquidated in case there is a drop. But I mean, you're going to see a lot of people, buy Bitcoin to take a loan out on it to degen into some riskier stuff because you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I expect it as well. And I expect these loan products to be more creative as well down the line. I know right now, the simple kind of product that we're thinking about is just taking a loan out against your Bitcoin. And I think that's going to be a huge market, by the way. And these companies that are creating these products are going to benefit immensely. SAS Terminal is coming out with a product in beta next Tuesday. And you have Merlin doing institutional level kind of management, and that's where consulting and all this stuff comes in. So that's why, as much as we're so used to the bull run being like this 4-year upswing every 4 years there's a year of upswing with these high risk assets that jump up. There's going to be legitimate revenue creating companies that are going to thrive and create the path for their future. So, and a lot of it's going to have to do with credit and borrowing because that's just kind of how the world works, especially in the West, right? And so I'm excited for it because I do think it actually creates even more liquidity to flow in and out, right? And that's what we need. We've been so dry of liquidity. It's like I think we all deserve like an overflowing of it.
We've seriously we've been liquidity starved for the last, I want to say, over a year now. I mean, I want to say probably what, January, when everything kind of died, and it was 6 months of just downward pressure until about June. So, but yeah, we will see. And then if you really want to go into it, I mean, it's only 2 months of relief in a 2-year cycle, right?
And it wasn't even great relief either. Are you talking about like Q4 of 2024? Or are you talking about
exactly? I'm talking November, December.
That was a little. There was opportunities for sure. It was much easier, but like nothing close to anything we've seen in 2021, even 2017. So
and they were definitely they were pumps to get out. Right, like everyone, as they pumped, everyone sold, right, and that's what you kind of saw there. But let's kind of get into the Fed from yesterday. The Federal Reserve announced its interest rate cut, setting the upper bound at 4.25%, in line with expectations of a 4.25 and down from the previous level of 4.5. So we were at 4.5 from bank to bank. And if you guys don't understand what this is, I actually had to explain this to someone yesterday. So when the Federal Reserve is the central bank, when you take a loan out, your bank goes to the Federal Reserve and actually borrows money from them. They borrow at the Fed rate. Right now, the Fed rate is 4.25. So when your bank, let's just say PNC, goes and does a loan, they borrow from the bank at 4.25. Then they have to go around and make money on this because they're taking on all the risk here. So they have to go to you and offer you 6.25, 7%. They got to make their money, right? If you have great credit, then they'll offer that like 5.5, right? But if we get this down to where it's 3%, now banks can go to you and say, hey, we can give you this loan for 4% or 4.5% or 5%, right? But right now, most loans that people are getting, especially here in Philadelphia, it's between 6 and 9%, depending on your credit, right? So it's one of those things where we needed to get this down. Yesterday, Fed Chair Jerome Powell says tariffs are being paid by U.S. importers. So the other big thing is inflation, right? As you cut rates, people end up taking loans out and then end up buying things, and that makes supply and demand to where you go. If everyone's buying a TV now, Walmart can jack up the price of the TV, right? But now we have to deal with this thing called tariffs, and these tariffs are another tax paid by the person or the company. For this instance, Walmart, when they buy stuff from China, they got to pay a tariff on all the products. So now, if that's to say that TV for them was costing $300. Now it's costing them $365, so they can't give you $400 price anymore. They have to give you $450, and that causes inflation that way as well. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says the economy has slowed down And he said the Federal Reserve can no longer say the job market is strong. Powell also said the Federal Open Market Committee is weighing interest rates on a meeting-by-meeting basis with no long-term consensus. So he was asked about potential, hey, is this going to continue or going to get a rate cut next month? Can you confirm it? He said, we're month to month, which, everyone's kind of baking in the fact that we're going to get 2 more cuts, but he hasn't came out and said it. And then the last thing is Trump appointee Stephen Moran was the only one who voted for a 50 basis point cut yesterday out of all the Fed governors and stuff like that. So it was just Trump's newest guy there. And people are saying, hey, he could be the next Fed chairman as well. But I know I went through a lot there, but what's your take on everything I just talked about?
I think that there was no way for them not to cut in September. And so I think that, he sounds like he's a little bit, bitter still.
Reluctant.
Yeah. Well, I think there's animosity there. You can be as calm of a person as possible, but when you see the exchange of the construction site with Trump and Powell, there's tension, right? There's tension there. And so I think that he does not want to give Trump what he wants, but at the same time, like, he had to make a cut here because like the jobs report shows that something needs to change. I probably, like, unless there's like a huge rise up with inflation, like really dramatic, then I think that we get another cut in October. Same thing with December, right? But the situation is definitely kind of annoying because you can sense it, right? You can sense that he's kind of annoyed because he didn't get the PPI. More specifically, the PPI that he was expecting in September from August numbers, right? And he definitely wasn't expecting that. And CPI was right on point. So I think what he was assuming in August, because he had that horrible PPI number in July, was that he would get something at least comparable to what we got in August in terms of numbers, and we didn't. We got a really good number for August numbers, right? And so if that's the case, and I forgot who it was that mentioned, I keep forgetting, but it's going to be a one-time situation with tariffs. It seems like
Barr.
that.
His name is Barr. Yeah.
Yeah. So then
Chairman Barr.
So September's numbers is going to be really big, and once we get those in October, because if we do get a consistency of it was only a one-time event. For that we got in whenever the report came out in August, then I think he has to be dovish, right? He has to feel dovish at least. And he see, whenever he said the importers are paying for the tariff tax, I feel like that was kind of like a jab, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. That's why I say I feel like he has some animosity still, and he knows that he's what.
So last time he spoke, he said that he's worried. The reason he's not cutting rates because he's worried about that the big boxes are going to push the price on the consumer, but they're not pushing the price on the consumer. So he's wrong. So now he has to come out and defend the decision of not cutting last month.
But I think what he was trying to do with that though was saying that like they're eating the cost, but that how long can that last? I think that was kind of a part of his his little spell there. And so another thing, the last thing here, I'll wrap it up with this, is that he knows that he's not going to be there next year. So how does he go out? Does he go out guns a-blazing, or does he go out kind of as what does he want to be remembered as? You know what I mean? Like someone that makes people feel better, or someone that makes people constantly trash him, because that's what he's gotten a lot.
I'll tell you what, too. Yesterday, he looks very frail. Like, I was even questioning if he makes it to March. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm not his health bad?
I don't know, but he like over the last 2 meetings, he's looked worse and worse. Like, and when you get to a certain age, it's something that I see a lot in elderly people. Like, they'll look fine, right? You see them on Thanksgiving, and then you'll see them on Easter, and it's like, holy shit! Like, what happened to you? You know what I mean? And it's just like it's very common for that age. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know, but it is what it is. I don't know if he's gonna make it till March. He looked very frail, and no one's really talking about it. But I was looking at him, I was like, he doesn't even look like the same guy he was 3 months ago. So
yeah. We'll see.
But yeah, we'll see. And the last thing, what do you think about Steven Moran being the only person who won one of the 50 basis point cut? The only person. I think Polymarket it looked like there was a multiple people who wanted it, but it was really just Steven who sat there and actually went for it.
I mean, he obviously wants to, be a pro rate cut guy right now. So
He wants that job.
Yeah. But, a lot of people were saying if we did get a 50 point cut yesterday, that the markets would have probably
Would've
not taken that. Yeah. Well, so.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, I think they would recover very quickly. The people being like,
probably.
oh, shit, it's risk on, right? So
yeah.
Yesterday though, 107,000 traders were wrecked in the past 24 hours. Guys, this is why we tell you, and Marion says the same thing. Don't trade this. Because I was watching it yesterday and it dumped. And as soon as he stopped talking, it pumped. Like it was the ultimate liquidation hunting event. And you're seeing $123 million in ETH liquidated, $109 million in Bitcoin liquidated, $27 million in others, not including Sol, Doge, BNB, Pump, and everything else. So if you were, you had a really good chance of getting liquidated yesterday because they did go down. And they got out all the longs, and they went out and got all the shorts. And if you're somebody who went long and then changed your mind, you got wrecked twice.
Yeah, and heavily emotional trader if you did that. But look, I've done it in my past, right? But I'll tell you this though, it's interesting because it looks like the longs got liquidated on the ETH side, and then the shorts got liquidated on the Bitcoin side. So definitely interesting. $404 million, man, on a Fed rate cut day. So what does that tell me? Probably stay the heck away from any event that creates a lot of speculation and anticipation, even if it's heavily favored. The speculation is heavily favored in one direction. They are going to use that event to stop loss hunt and liquidation hunt you. So
yeah, 100%. This morning, we also got the initial jobless claims, 31,000 estimated. I'm sorry, we got 31,000 actual, 240,000 were estimated. So pretty much in line there, only 9,000 people off, but less people claimed claims last week than they thought. So that's looking good. I'm actually glad I came out today and not yesterday because that might have changed Jerome's mind a little bit. But the job market, for 1 week anyway, it's hard to tell from week to week, but we'll see what happens next week. And then who knows with the revisions too. I mean, we might find out in a few months that they were all fake, right? So who really knows? All right, let's move along, though, to some crypto stuff here. The Ethereum Foundation has launched a new division called the DAI team, focused on interrogating artificial intelligence with Ethereum, integrating artificial intelligence with Ethereum. Part of the effort centers on ERC 8004, so a new standard, and called the trust layer in the works that's meant to give AI agents something like an on-chain reputation score.
Ooh.
What do you think about ERC 8004, a new token standard on Ethereum?
I like what I'm reading so far. I mean, AI agents with a reputation score. Yeah, I mean, I need to kind of dive deeper to see what metrics they're going to use to create that reputation score per AI agent. But I mean, what do you think they're going to look at?
I looked into it a little bit, and it's the biggest thing was the delusional or something like that. I don't know. It's something that AI agents do where they think you said something and something like that.
They kind of go off on their own.
It'll be that, and like let's just say if this AI has a bad trade, you tell it to buy this and it doesn't buy that, or buy something else. Like it'll be a lot of mistakes, right? And the least mistakes, the better to score. So it'll be and kind of the experience of that AI agent as well, the downtime and stuff like that. So it really it's just like you would give a score. Like if you were talking to ChatGPT and you had a project to do, right, and you were working with that agent with that project, and he kept messing up, you would be like, this dude got a 65 today. You know what I mean? It would be very similar to that.
Yeah. Yeah. So is it going to depend on human input? Or is it going to depend on, you know, a tool that Ethereum is going to use to be able to track and, you know, grade each agent's transactional history, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, so right now it's like, so you basically get the, and this is early days, so it said it's gonna get better and better. It's where the on-chain data is, the chain can just sniff out the mistakes right away. But in the beginning, it's going to be a user signed transaction. So you're going to have to go sign with your wallet, put in like what your experience was, and then hit enter, and that'll kind of give it a very similar to Yelp in the very, very early days. But later it'll be like the chain just kind of can see what is happening, you know, with the bad trades and the good trades and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I mean, I like where it's heading. So some of these AI companies, right, or projects, protocols, they're going to be tested with this if
yeah.
they are going to be on the EVM side of things, or also is this going to be agents that are only involved with Ethereum layer 1, or
Well, it's going to have to be this token standard, this 8004. So you can
okay,
either bridge
EVM?
to it, migrate to it, but yeah, it'll have to be an EVM. But soon, like Agent Hustle, when when they take an EVM, they can potentially put it on an ERC 8004 instead of a ERC 20 or whatever, right? So
Yeah, I like it, and we might see this kind of roll into multiple chains doing this. So
yep. Big move from MoneyGram. I assumed that they were gonna just die, die a sensible. I thought they were gone, but they're launching a USDC powered stablecoin app with blockchain settlement. So now, and I worked with people from Costa Rica when I was at my I worked at this pizza place when I was like 18, 19, and these guys, they would have to go to send money home. It was so hard for them, and they'd have to pay so much money. They'd have to go drive to these places and sit there like on the phone and stuff, which is really weird. But now you can go to the MoneyGram app, and you can send USDC from one MoneyGram account to another, very similar to wallets. So let's just say let's just say you take a job over in Germany and you need to send money back home to your mom or something. Now you download the MoneyGram app, she downloads it, and then you can just send money through it. Obviously, there's a fee, and it would be easier for you both to download Ethereum wallets. But for someone like your mom, she's not going to go download the Ethereum wallet, right? But in the sense of, just downloading the MoneyGram app and then you're able to withdraw it right to your bank account, that's something these people might do. These older people.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm so glad. Look, I'm not a huge Stellar person. I'm not a huge MoneyGram person, but I'm so glad that finally this partnership that formed, I want to say in 2018, maybe, or
Yeah,
2019, something crazy long time ago. Some of those partnerships, they either dissolved and stuff like that, but like they were big headlines at the time. And so finally, Stellar gets to have this partnership with MoneyGram that's going to play out. So I'm
yeah,
happy about that, because that was a real world use case that people were betting on Stellar about,
yeah.
So pretty cool to see that actually come to fruition.
Yeah, and they're saying now MoneyGram is going to be competing with Cash App and Venmo, because their payment rails are the cheapest. I mean, they're paying 0.001 of a cent of a penny for transactions now.
Yeah.
While when you use Venmo and stuff like that, it's basically a centralized system. Now everything's going to be on Stellar's blockchain for MoneyGram, so where there's going to be no mistakes or anything. Everything's going to be sent. If you do make a mistake though, and you send it to the wrong MoneyGram, there will be a centralized part of that can withdraw it, because you are still using a centralized wallet, right? At the end of the day, so it can help you in that point as well. So this kind of does give that that mess up opportunity for non-crypto people. Like, we know if I send you money on MetaMask, I get like, yeah, dude, can you send that back? Like, I sent you too much, right? But in this situation, if you do send too much, you'll be able to you can stop the transaction. MoneyGram will freeze it on their side, and then you'll be able to bring it back. So there is going to be little things in there, but they are running on blockchain rails, but there will be a centralized piece of it as well.
Yeah. This is the type of Web2 company that does bring some sense of, I guess, safety and convenience to that type of user, right? We won't
Yeah.
be using MoneyGram, but, people will. Like
Yeah.
you mentioned, you had that example with the Costa Rican workers and stuff like that. So, yeah, so big news for at least Stellar and MoneyGram, because like I said, this was a long time coming. And so we're gonna see, and then other brands are gonna come into it too. What does Western Union do? Because that is their biggest competitor, right? MoneyGram
Exactly.
back in the day,
Yep.
So who do they team up with? Do they team up with XRP? Do they team up with somebody else? We're gonna find out.
Yep. All right, jump to the next thing here. CZ, thanks community, as BNB hits $1,000, rising 10,000x from its 10-cent ICO price 8 years ago. Dude, I remember in 2020, I was buying Bitcoin and I kept seeing this thing called BNB. And I remember it was like $36 and then it went to 70. And I was like, that was my first experience. Because I didn't hold it, but I was just, listening to like crypto shows and stuff. And I was like, holy shit, that thing went up 100%. I was like, so if I had $1,000 in that, it would be 2,000 today. Like, that's when it really started ringing to me. And BNB was the strongest asset during that time when I got in. I got in like August of 2020. So September is kind of when BNB had its like real big push up from like, I think like $20 to 40 to 70. And I was like, damn, I should have invested in that. And I didn't know what the hell it was. I didn't even know what Ethereum was at that point. I was still pretty new and I was just buying Bitcoin. But that was my first experience with this. This could be life-changing. And I mean, look at it today.
Yeah. And we called this yesterday. We said that it's going to hit
Yeah.
$1,000. Not a hard call. Not a hard call. It was at like $950,
Yeah.
right? So $50 away. But $1,000 is that's a pretty big milestone, right? It's like
Yep.
whenever Bitcoin hit 100K, that was a big milestone, right? So BNB is only going to grow in their product offerings.
Yep.
I mean, we're hearing about Aster. Aster is the Hyperliquid competitor that is connected to Binance, right? So
Yep.
there's going to be a lot of upside still, even at $1,000, in my opinion. But yeah, congratulations to the people that held from the ICO price, which I'm sure there's some. But even if you held from $2, dude, like, I mean, come on, that's a huge win.
Even from 20 or 40,
right?
I mean, goddamn. But
Exactly.
it's a long hold, though.
A long hold. But we need that
the
back.
big reason, 100%. The big reason for the pump up is this. It's called Aster. It runs on the BNB chain. It also runs on Ethereum, Arbitrum, and Solana. But the main driver right now is BNB chain, and it is very similar to Hyperliquid. What you have to deposit in, and you have a wallet on that side. You do have a seed phrase and stuff like that to make sure everything's in there. But Aster, I mean, just this morning this thing was 50 cents, and now it's 68 cents. It is flying up. People are buying BNB. And the only place to buy it right now, there's no really exchanges that really have it yet. I mean, I think it's only 2 days old. I mean, these are daily candles at this point. But imagine getting this for like 10 cents yesterday or 34 cents yesterday, and then today it's 68 cents. Pretty insane. Aster seems to be looked at as the number one competitor to Hyperliquid because CZ Binance, he has said 3 tickers on his Twitter page. He has said Bitcoin, BTC. He has said BNB, and now he said Aster. There's 3 tickers that he has ever said on his Twitter, and Aster is the third one.
I feel like he has.
They said he's never. If he said Ethereum, he would write out the full word. He's never typed in the ticker itself. So I don't know. What do you think, man? Do you think this one could compete with Hyperliquid now, potentially as a competitor? Should Hyperliquid be worried about this Binance potentially competitor?
I mean, first, will it compete? Yes, because it is backed by Binance. They have tons of capital. They have tons of pull and power in the space, more specifically Asia, China, right? Hong Kong, Singapore. But Hyperliquid is starting to, really have that Singapore, they're based out of Singapore and Asia as well. But do I think they need to worry? Not necessarily, because there's going to be a lot of liquidity that flows into our space from an institutional level as more and more ETFs get added to the stock exchange, as well as, treasury companies form. Yeah. And so once that circulation of liquidity grows and grows, then there's going to be enough, right? We've been dealing with not having enough liquidity has been the problem. Yeah. And that goes from, the centralized exchanges. Centralized exchanges never used to really care too much about what happened on chain, because they dominated, the newbie, the onboarding, right? But when liquidity runs dry, everybody starts to care. And we went through that from a on-chain perspective. And so now, like, we start to see like Hyperliquid getting like a lot of on-chain activity and volume, and Pump Fund too. But like it, the spreading of liquidity that was happening in 2021 is different, right? Like from now. And so once the liquidity dam opens back up, in my opinion, and it's going to take the institutional adoption for that to happen at ETFs. Like I said, DATs, and then VCs believing that's going to be a big part. I think I do think that VCs believing that, okay, this is the liquidity event, and then they pour in. That's whenever I think people can feel okay and not be so defensive, because it's just like surviving, as like a society that's lacking food, right? Like you're gonna do whatever it takes to make sure your family eats, or you're gonna eat and all that stuff. But once there's more food to go around, then you're not gonna do everything.
Not worrying as much.
Exactly. So I think we go into more and more of liquidity events happening and coming to our space.
Yeah, 100%. And also, the next part of this would just be that, if you are interested in trading stocks, you can now do that over here. If you just go to perps and then click up here, you can actually go to stocks. You can take 50x leverage on Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, Google, Microsoft, SBET. That's the Ethereum company, right? SBET. That's the SharpLink.
SBET. Okay, yeah, I think so.
And then QQQ, which is an index of a lot of the stuff. So these guys aren't big movers, but you put 50x on Apple, you might be able to get some movement there. On top of that, and on they do have all markets as well. They have everything crypto that if you wanted to take on it. But the one thing they have here that people don't see is you can take 1000x leverage on a lot of assets. So crypto, I think Bitcoin and ETH are the only ones you can take 1000x on. But how do you feel about what I'm showing you here with Aster Dex? I mean, definitely different. Hyperliquid doesn't even have that yet with the
So I think that was a flex, right? To say, hey, look, we have the connections, we have the ability to onboard these synthetic derivatives, and if you want to trade those, trade them, right? So it's just kind of it's like, this is my move, what's yours? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're gonna see what Hyperliquid does. But I really don't think Hyperliquid looks at this as a tit for tat, try to like battle them. I think they want to be kind of left alone and just keep doing their thing, right? Whether they might add synthetic derivatives and stuff like that, but I think if there's any like aggression, it's probably going to come more from the Binance side. But like, more liquidity solves that, kind of, right? Like I said, but again, the Binance likes to be on top, and to them, in their minds, they're number one.
Yep.
And Brian Armstrong, in his mind, he's probably number one. And in West and East, they're okay with being, having that mindset of each other. But everybody else, nah, they're gonna
100%.
say, we're number one, we're staying there.
If I'm Hyperliquid, I'm excited by Aster, because now I don't think I'm going to get attacked, right? Because it's like, hey, you attack me, that's actually just showing the world that you can be attacked, because you're the same thing. You're a copycat. So in a way, it's kind of like Hyperliquid's like, yeah, I hope they do, amazing, but just stay over there. Don't be coming over to what we're doing. Just stay over there. Don't pay attention to us. Just, you guys make money. We're making money. And the head of the foundation of Hyperliquid, Jeff, he seems to be a very very soft-spoken guy. I'm sure he can get a little angry, but he definitely seems like the type of guy who he's just trying to do his thing. He's not here to disrupt. He just sees an opportunity for what he's building.
Yeah, and that's why I think that, like, sometimes builders do want to be like out of the spotlight and just do their thing. But if you have a certain level of success, like, you do get noticed, and then there's the point in time, if your success continually grows, you get thrown in the spotlight involuntarily, right? And I think Hyperliquid is an example of that. But the leadership and how they handle success is very important. But if you already liked being kind of under the radar and stuff like that, then you're more likely to have a level head whenever you're coming into, like, maybe some competition and stuff like that. Because if he wanted to leave, like, he can ride off into the sunset, probably, what do you think? Maybe like 9 figures or something, right? Or 10
Easily.
figures. Yeah. 10 figures, right? So 100 million or something, he could walk right off into the sunset. But that's the thing. It's like, do these people, when they get successful, like the Do Kwons, like you can argue, say that he wasn't like that before and stuff like that, which I agree. I believe you when you say that. But there was a point in time where they said, no, like, I'm standing on principle. But it's almost kind of like a mix of principle and pride too at the same time. Like, right off in the sunset, bro. Like, you right off in the sunset with $100 million. Go do it. Like, $100 million. If you're that good and you started that, you can do something else.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And but a lot of these guys like, this is my baby, right? I don't want to leave. I want to rock this out. Just I mean, see, that's why CZ's back at Binance, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious now. Like he can done. He's done.
Yeah, but you
it's
can have
because
another baby.
that is true. That is true. Binance founder CZ warned crypto projects of North Korean hackers threats, citing 4 common tactics: posing as job applicants as a dev, security, or finance roles. And during the meeting, they're sending like a document, let's just say a resume, to this person. They're opening it, and it's attacking the system. So CZ is like, hey, to anybody who hiring, make sure these guys aren't from North Korea hacking. And that's the thing too, is like some of these guys are, they're from China, they're from Japan, like they're not like of North Korean descent. They're actually just funded by North Korea.
Yeah, and maybe like they send the liquidity over, but like I think it's gonna really be important to be able to get through VPNs and different levels of masking IPs and stuff like that for this to stop. But it's scary because these North Korean task groups, they train them how to speak English very well, and they can just act like they're from another Asian country very well, and so they'll figure out ways to get through that, I think. But it's scary because I mean your system and your entire security could be at jeopardy, right? So
100%.
yeah, but CZ warning people, trying to save the world.
Yeah, man. All right, the next thing here is very interesting. So Saylor was at a conference yesterday. It was like this Bitcoin in the US type thing. He wore like an orange tie, and he said, if I wanted to destroy Bitcoin, I would just find an infinite developers who are very talented and tell them to make Bitcoin better. Think about that for a second. If I wanted to destroy Bitcoin, I would find infinite developers who are very talented and tell them to make Bitcoin better. So he's saying, if to destroy Bitcoin, you have to add CTV, you have to add Opcat, you have to add these. This is kind of what I've been saying for a long time. There is no chance in hell that Michael Saylor is going to let any update happen to Bitcoin L1 at all, because it's exactly what he said here. If he wanted to destroy it, he would just try to make Bitcoin better.
Yeah, but he was also talking about he created like a storage protocol,
but it doesn't need Bitcoin to update. It doesn't need CTV. It doesn't need any of this.
Okay, but for him to be able to create that storage protocol, Bitcoin had to get better by developers. Okay, so they had to add. Yeah, they did. They had to add Taproot. They had to add SegWit to make that possible. You couldn't.
I don't know if he's using Taproot.
Well, I'm sure he is. If he's doing, everybody said that he's basically using a very similar approach to what Ordinals does.
I think he's using an indexer, but I don't know if he needs to use Taproot for the indexer.
Well, if we don't know, we don't know. But if he's doing something like Ordinals, then he had to do that. So I think he's being a little hypocritical here. Also, he says infinite developers, so basically keep coming back. Keep coming back.
Keep making changes.
Back. Yeah. But that's what's. I mean, that has happened throughout history of Bitcoin.
It's happened on ETH every single day.
Yeah, so it's happening at a way more accelerated rate on ETH. But let's not get it twisted. Since 2009, when Bitcoin started, it has been updated at least every 2 years, right? Every 2 to 4 years. Let's say that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so what does he mean? Because like they're updating it to make it better, not to make it worse.
Well, that's kind of what he's. I don't think he wants Opcat. He doesn't want OpCTV. He doesn't want any of these codes. So you got to remember too, what SegWit was a wallet upgrade. It had really nothing to do with core. Taproot was a wallet upgrade. It had really nothing to do with core. Like it's one of those things where, but changing an opcode or adding Opcat back, that's a huge change. I mean, that's a huge change for Bitcoin.
Well, I mean, it still affected Bitcoin at the core level because now you were able to add more files, which they complain about in terms of spam and all these things. So I guess you could maybe say he's implying that adding making Bitcoin better in like aggressive ways would destroy Bitcoin, because aggressive ways would be adding computation directly to layer 1 or covenants directly to layer 1, even though I think like CTV covenants would make the experience way better without, adding true computation, I think, which would be OpCat, right? And so, I mean, so to give you credit, you did say that Saylor would be one of the people that would talk out about it. So let's see how far he takes this, because this is the first comment that we've heard really from him to kind of imply that he, doesn't want changes to Bitcoin, in an aggressive way, because that's how I take it. And we'll see what kind of products he gets involved with as well. And it's interesting though, because this is something that you did. I give you credit.
Yeah.
You did say that Saylor would talk about it, and maybe someone that represents BlackRock would speak up as well. So this is the first bit that we're hearing. Let's see if we hear more.
And the big thing too with Saylor, what he wants to do is Saylor wants to put your house title on Bitcoin. He wants to put your will on Bitcoin. He wants to put your car note on Bitcoin, and all that stuff can happen right now with the technology that it has. So when Saylor's building on Bitcoin, he has enough with Bitcoin. He just needs to inscribe it, have his indexers make sure it's there, and that's it, right? That's all he wants it for. And so he has that. He has everything he needs for that. And I'm actually in the camp where I don't want Bitcoin updated anymore. I don't, because if the Bitcoin's updated, the miners win, and I don't want the Bitcoin miners to win. I hate the Bitcoin miners. I hate them. I hate them with a passion. I feel like that they're only here for themselves, and they don't really give a shit. If Bitcoin wasn't a way to make money, they would move on to AI. These guys are not here for Bitcoin. That's what they used to be. The early Bitcoin miners, they were here for Bitcoin. Now these guys are just businesses, right? That's all they are. They don't give a shit about Bitcoin. They don't give a shit about what's happening on Bitcoin L1. And when we were giving them an extra 3-4 Bitcoin or 6 Bitcoin every block, I mean, that was us being stupid. I mean, we could have been putting that money, in liquidity pools and actually having liquidity here on L1. So that's why I'm really bullish on stuff like Spark. I'm really bullish on Merlin, Botonics, even Arch. If Arch gets going, I think we can have still an economy on Bitcoin without making any changes to Bitcoin itself.
Yeah. What do you mean by three more Bitcoin every block though? Because they don't they earn the it's a finite amount that they earn.
So
per
the
block.
fees. So I remember we doubled the Bitcoin block in October, November, and December. So every so they were earning at the time they were earning 6.5 Bitcoin per block, but we were also giving them another 6 Bitcoin in fees every block because we were minting BRC20s, we were doing all that stuff. So they were getting about 12 Bitcoin per block back in October of 2023, November 2023. And like, again, that was us being stupid. We could have put that money in liquidity pools and stuff like that to where these tokens like, Ordi and like Sats and stuff would be trading really, really well. Imagine it, all that liquidity in those pools back then, that could have really restarted an economy on, let's just say we were using a Bitcoin L2 like Maryland or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, why would they not fight for that to make more money,
Because they haven't yet. Why would they start? You know what I mean? Like they're not building on Bitcoin. They don't want to build anything here. So they've only extracted. They've only and people say like, oh yeah, that's all they're for. But again, then they're not here for Bitcoin. If they're not like investing into L1 or investing in the transactions in the future, then they're just extracting. And and they basically don't want us here to play because they don't give a shit about what we're doing here. They're not giving us opportunity to create fees. They're not creating projects to help them create fees. So let's just use stuff like Spark. Let's use stuff like Merlin. Let's use stuff like Botonics. Let's use stuff like Arch and Middle. Let's stop figuring out ways. Let them figure it out. When the fees are gone, when Bitcoin halves to zero, let them figure it out. Well, I'm done. You know what I mean? I'm done trying to help
that's
them.
That's so far in the future.
I mean, think about it though. In 2 years from now, it'll be 1.5 Bitcoin per block, and then in 6 years from now, it'll be 0.75 Bitcoin per block. Right? If they don't push the price of Bitcoin up, right, then there's they got to figure out how to create fees. They're 6 years away from getting about $75,000 per block. Right now, it's about $325,000. Right, so they got to either figure out how to make Bitcoin go up in value, add trillions of dollars of value to Bitcoin, or they got to figure out how to create fees.
But they're counting on that. They're counting on the trillions of dollars in value, going.
I think we all are, but at the same time, you can't. You can count on fees. You can't count on trillions of dollars entering Bitcoin, right? So I don't know.
Yeah, just the value of it, though. I think, but yeah, I mean, the next two halvings does bring it down to 0.75 Bitcoin, and we'll see what Bitcoin is priced at that moment.
100%. So this is from Tap here. It said thrilled to partner with Tap Protocol. I mean, sorry, this is from what was that mining company? Spiderpool.
Yep.
Thrilled to partner with Tap Protocol to integrate additional miner rewards via DMT-NAT token. So guys, if you do hold this NAT token, once there is liquidity pools for this, once this token gets on exchanges, this thing is going to zero. When they can figure out how to do a do a transaction, what is it called? I don't know what it's called anymore. What how do you if I was going to send this to you, I had to make a
transfer inscription.
Transfer inscription. They got to figure out how to do a transfer inscription because this technology is so old at this point. And then they have to send it to the exchange, and then they're going to dump this thing rapidly. Everyone's saying, "Oh, it's adoption." Fractal was adoption at one point, and Fractal got smacked to basically death, right? Like to the point where it's like you can't hold Fractal because it's just down only. You're not gonna be able to hold this DMT token. You guys might be excited about helping the miners. That the miners don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about the NAT token. They only want to extract, and they're going to extract as much value out of this NAT token as they can possibly can because they don't give a shit about. And that's one thing BlackRunner doesn't understand. That's what this was the biggest mistake that they could make with this, because yeah, it's fine for now. But wait till they wake up and realize they even have this thing, and they're gonna dump it, maybe even like for half of the price. They're not even gonna care. They're gonna get every bit out of those liquidity pools as possible. What's your take on this?
It depends, right? I mean, Spiderpool kind of made some announcements, this time last year with Fractal, and so that it's not like Spiderpool is kind of new to merge mining, right? And this is a different aspect of merge mining. You actually don't even have to win. Well, I guess a merge mining, do you if you win the Bitcoin block, do you automatically get Fractal? No, right?
No, well, it works that way with DMT-NAT, but on Fractal, it's like I can win either or I can win both, right?
Gotcha.
It's very, very rarely that I can win both, but like I'm sending the same hash signals, and this one could unlock or this one could unlock.
Yeah, so this is more, I guess, to the upside because you're guaranteed it if you win the Bitcoin block.
Yeah.
But is like, what does the liquidity look like for NAT within that new, I guess, like that application that you downloaded to your desktop?
Oh,
what was that? But what was that?
15,000.
Okay, so there's a swap in there, and then you have Taproot swap as well that has like 44,000. So it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to this, because I will say, props to them for getting the public announcement partnership with Spiderpool. Spiderpool wins a decent amount of Bitcoin blocks. We see it in mempool.space. So if they're, if Spiderpool has any stake in it in terms of like, they want NAT to succeed as an asset because they have stake in NAT somehow or whatever, then I can see
earned a bunch of it, so they're probably holding it, and they're trying to figure out ways to get rid of it.
Yeah. So, but hey, look, I mean, these guys, I'm giving them props because they started this concept, and it's here right now. So it hasn't completely died away, and it's here, and we'll see if the miners do completely just obliterate it once they're either listed on a centralized exchange like Mexi or something like that, or there's sufficient liquidity on Taproot swap.
I just don't understand, like, why would anybody want to hold this? Like, why would you want to hold the NAT token? And you would say, oh, it's like Bitcoin. It's not like Bitcoin. Stop it. Right? It's not. It's the reason you hold Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's a store of value. There's only 21 million. There's an infinity amount of NAT. NAT's going to come out on every single block. It's like a random figure about how much NAT is given to each one. Right? There is no halving event. This is not Bitcoin whatsoever. This is just another shitcoin that these miners are going to take. Right? They're going to call it a shitcoin. How can we get rid of that shitcoin that we have? Dump it to zero. That's all it is.
Yeah, I think there was I can't remember what mining company, but they had a significant amount of NAT, and they sold it, I think I want to say at like $40-something thousand. So that they're noticing it for sure. And
they're dumping it for sure.
Yeah, I think they did sell it for $40,000 somehow. I don't know how though.
They Ordinals wallet. So they had a ordinal crypto native guy or ordinal native guy. He figured out how to do the transfer inscription and then listed them in smaller batches, and people came in and they bought them.
Wow. So I mean, there's a demand for it on the old way of doing it, which is wild.
Yeah, there is there's a liquidity pool on Taproot Swap, but it's like $30,000, and you're gonna get if you try to dump $10,000 worth of, I mean, you're basically gonna get a
what's the
tiny,
market
tiny
cap
price, so
for NAT?
I know it's on Coin Market Cap.
Oh, is it? Okay. Oh, there it is. 21 million, $21.5 million is what it says.
It's up 90% on the year. Yeah, I mean, I think it's something, if you do have it, I think you should potentially get rid of it. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, it's the only exchange that I see. It's on an exchange right now. It's on Super X. That's it.
It has no liquidity there, though, I bet. It's
I don't know.
88,000 in 24-hour volume, though.
That's not bad.
You see the X by it, though? Like there's like an X on the coin part.
Reserve data not available.
Yeah.
So I guess it doesn't show. It doesn't show what total asset reserves. Okay, gotcha. Well, hey, look, man. I mean, it's still moving forward. It's still, still here. So I give the block runners props for that, and we'll see what happens in the future with it.
Yep. All right, let's kind of get into the crypto fear and greed. Last week we were at a 47. Yesterday we're at a 51, and we're exactly where we were yesterday.
51.
Yeah, 51. Boom, right there. What do you think, man? I'm so tired of 46 to 52. Like I'm just so tired of seeing this every day. Like I feel like this is death, bro. The death is what is just the sideways bullshit. That's kind of what we're dealing with right now, right? So,
well, the 51 to me is understandable because it was volatile yesterday with people getting wrecked and going up. So they're probably just like, let's see what happens tomorrow, which seems to be a decent bounce back today. But we'll see if this positive price action continues.
Yep. And it does look like the only thing red on my board is dog. Dog's just down. Man, I'm just so tired of the Bitcoin ecosystem at this point. I'm probably letting my frustration show a little bit too much, but yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just. Well, let's kind of get into the crypto fear and greed here, brought to you guys by the great people at Artura.finance. Artura, they're building something truly special. They're building it on Botonix L2. And what you're going to be able to do, what you can do, is you can head over to Artura.finance today, and you can get some PUSD, which is the stable coin that they're using over here. They will soon have USDC and other ones as well. But right now, if you want to get some PUSD, it's pretty easy. You just got to bridge over some Bitcoin, send some Bitcoin to the Botonix multi-sig, and that'll give you the Botonix version of that Bitcoin. And then you come down here and you can make some trade. As you can see, we're in 3 trades here. We're up about 100% through them all. So that's pretty cool. So this is the trades we made. This one is Marion, he is up 22%. This one is X, he is up 61%, and then Yagobi, you are up 22% yourself there, sir. So absolutely awesome to see here that we are winning some trades. But you guys, the main thing though, I'm actually the real winner, because once these trades go through, I'm going to be further up on this leaderboard here and be very happy with where we are here. So as you can see right now, this guy made 2 trades and he has $433 of P&L. So he will take away $5,000 in a few weeks if he can hold that number 1 spot. Number 2, this guy put up 40,000 volume, 26 trades, and he has 337 in P&L. And then this one right here, this guy has 196. So all you got to do is do a couple $100 in P&L and you're up here. Not to mention just being a part of like the top 10 are going to get you a nice airdrop as well. So you definitely want to be a part of that. And also Botonix is giving away the biggest Bitcoin airdrop in history. If you want to be a part of that, all you got to do is make some trades on the Botonix, and making trades on Artura is making trades on Botonix. So make sure you guys are over there and making some trades today.
Yes, sir. And before we get into the Bitcoin price action, guys, help us out on the YouTube side. Smash that like and turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. And then on the X side, let's share the space. Get as many people in here as possible. Same thing with Abstract, Kick, Twitch, Rumble, and Spotify. Let's take a look here at the Bitcoin price action. See what's happening, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the crypto bubbles, so we can get into the alt market as well. But the hour chart with Bitcoin, we always start there, and definitely seeing this bounce back happen. You can see it started at 2 p.m. Central yesterday, right? So that's whenever the bounce back started to happen. We did have some correction late last night, 11 p.m., 12 p.m. Eastern. It's been kind of sideways with that bounce back up this morning. So what happens for the rest of today? You can see that, the MACD momentum indicator, we did have like this really strong buy pressure happening with that bounce back, and then now we're trying to build again, but it looks like it's not as aggressive, so we might see a little bit of sideways here, a little bit back and forth. Taking a look here at the local support and resistance, going back to 6 a.m. Let's go back one more hour there. Let's open this up. There you go. All right. At the 117,600, we are about even here. So this is good. And for the support side, not bad. Above there, we are winning that. And these are decent volume areas too. Below that, the support is holding the line here at the 115,550. So that is a good sign as well. Below that, looking really good. So support is definitely winning the battle as of now. Above here, it does balance out a bit more. So you get to the 117,700, balanced again, and then we start to lose the battle at the 117,740. But then it bounces back. It's kind of more even to the upside here. So look, I mean, these areas on the upside are less volume, so we could definitely push back up, but where we currently are, kind of seems like we're going sideways, but we are definitely winning. Or when I say we, I mean the support is winning here, and then below we have support kind of holding the line. So this could turn into a continuation of the buy pressure on the MACD. Definitely have to see how the next 2 hours play out. So around 2 p.m. Eastern, I think we'll have a much more clear view on where the hour chart wants to take us, right? Do we actually sustain, the strength here on the support and kind of have some stronger aggressive buy bids to the upside and kind of run through here? Because if we get to this top area, the 117.8, 117,900, basically, it's pretty much all support up here. And then we don't really have too much above that, right? So we could technically, if we get fight through this resistance that we have up in this area, we could see 118, right? We could see that, but the MACD is showing that it is weakening here, so that doesn't give me a lot of confidence. But where the confidence did come from was those areas of support that I did show you just now, going back to the data that is acquired from that is showing from 5 a.m. to where we are right now. So it's kind of a little bit of mixed signals from the support and resistance from the VRVP, as well as the opposite showing, kind of, at least for the MACD here. So I'd love to see us push through this area, and then the MACD, in my opinion, will open back up. Maybe we have a continuation of the buy pressure. The next hour is going to be very important, next hour to 2 hours, because then we'll know if this is ending or not. So that is what I'm seeing on the 1 hour. The 4 hour is still in the buy pressure here. It's not super aggressive on the MACD, but it does look like it wants to, continue up. It is kind of just trucking along, right? It's not an aggressive push up yet. We haven't really had any super aggressive, indication here from the MACD yet. Even from the bounce back overnight, they're not huge green candles, so maybe we're gonna get that. But obviously that 1 hour the 1 hour chart for the next 2 hours should give us a little bit of guidance for the 4 hour chart as well. And it is Thursday, and I hate really kind of trying to see where the momentum is going to go into the weekend, because Saturday is, you can chalk everything up in terms of like the where the momentum indicators are telling us it's going for Saturday. But then that Sunday will give us more life. So we'll see how things are for at the end of the day, and get more of a clear picture of how Friday, maybe parts of Saturday, and then Sunday will be. So as of right now, it's looking positive, but not a ton of aggression to the upside. I'll say that. All right. So the daily chart for Bitcoin did open back up, though. So that rebound did give us a strong signal here on the MACD for today. We'll see if we can end it that way as well, because that would be very, very good heading into a Friday. All right, Ethereum, kind of same thing on the hour chart, right? We need to get out of this the sell pressure. Well, I wouldn't say same thing because it's more aggressive for Bitcoin, right? So we need to get out of the sell pressure on the hour chart as Bitcoin is already in the buy pressure. So we need to kind of follow, make sure that we are tailing with Ethereum. But like Shizzy said, Ethereum's been a little bit slower today. There's been other alts that have been more have seen higher gains, right? So is there going to be a catch up here? We do know that the institutions are still very, very bullish on Ethereum, but they, are they ready to kind of pour back into it? I'm not sure. Overall, I feel like, where we are is in a good spot. I don't think all of a sudden with Bitcoin and Ethereum, we start to turn down and bleed out. I mean, yesterday was a good rate cut. I think the expectations for October and December is that we're going to have follow-up rate cuts with those as well. So, we do need Ethereum to kind of catch up here, though. I will say that. Let's take a look at the daily for Ethereum. The daily is green. So it is showing that there is still some buy pressure for the daily chart here, right? So looks okay. Want to see some aggressive candles though on the MACD, something that can match some of these that we had on the sell down, right? So let's see how the shorter time frame, the hour time frame plays out for Ethereum, hour and 4 hour actually as well. Let's take a peek in the 4 hour. So 4 hour is kind of just treading here on the buy pressure. So that, to me, also that means that we could be due for an aggressive push up as well. So let's see how the rest of today plays out. So that's Bitcoin, Ethereum. The alts bubbles, the crypto bubbles look really good. They look green, right? If you look at the daily here, pretty much 90. You're looking at like a 97% positive, and a lot. Some of these are huge. Immutable X up 21%, but this is kind of what we were talking about earlier, right? Ethereum's a little lackadaisical, but then you have Sui up 12%. You have Virtuals up 12.2%. Pengu up 18.5%. Those are huge gains comparative to what we're seeing with Ethereum, only up 2.6%, right? And then you have AVAX. AVAX has been on my timeline a lot. It's up 12.7%. Fartcoin, which in a jokingly way, but it ended up being true. It's kind of been a leading indicator for some of these alts, right? It's up 14.7% today. SPX up 13.1. So, these alts are looking good, especially kind of going against Ethereum. So that's a good sign. You can see in the top 200 here, APX up 300%, crazy there. Brett up 19%, the largest meme coin I think on base. So that is a
good.
It's looking good for alts for sure. It's looking good for alts. Sun, this is
FTX is up. I mean, come on, bro. Things are getting silly if FTX is up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, up 22.6%. Sun, the protocol on Tron is up 14.5%. SNEC, the largest meme coin on Cardano, up 5.8%. Barachain up 13.1%. Eigenlayer, they must have had some big news. They are up 27% or 26.7%. That is a big win, in my opinion. You got Jasmy pulling up 7%. Turbo, the meme coin on Arbitrum pulling up 10% there. Popcat up 10% as well. Starknet up 7%. Syrup up 5.5%. Chills up 6.1%. Let's take a look at the top 300. We'll stop after that. You've got Bard. Bard is whoever's in Bard. Sorry, they pulled back 37%. Everything else is pretty much green though. You got what else you got in here? Moodang. Man, I haven't heard about Moodang in a very long time. They're up 12.4% there. And Peanut up 8.6% as well. So Merlin Chain up at 9.5%. I didn't see Dog. Was Dog on the previous
Dog's down today again.
Is it?
There's no point in looking for it. Yeah, it's down like 0.5. It's probably tiny and red.
Yeah. Gotcha.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's everything's up. Imagine everything being green and you're holding Dog, and it's just sad. Just sad.
I wonder if it got bumped out. Where is it at?
It might have kicked off. Oh, right there. 214.
Yeah. Oh, it's up. It's up 11.3% on the day.
Really? I'm seeing
right here.
I'm seeing flat. It's flat. I'm seeing flat.
Yeah, on the crypto bubbles, it's a different time that they probably do a shot of it. That's why. So this is but it's back in the 200 to 300 range. Ordi is up here too. So Ordi's 223. million, while dog is 255. So
Yeah.
they're definitely competing. But yeah, that's going to
Crypto
be.
Berg is 300 million.
Is it still? Is it?
I don't know. It probably is. I don't know. That's a good check though. I don't know, man. I'm so bearish on the Bitcoin ecosystem right now. I gotta. I don't know. Okay, so Berg is 249, Dog's 250. Okay. Berg.
Ooh,
Crypto Berg came back
interesting.
down. Yeah. So yeah. Crypto Berg at 249, Dog at 250, BitCat at 50, Mim at 34. So BitCat is the third largest rune right now. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. All right, let's get into the next thing here. Let's get into the roll call. Let's kind of check out what you guys are saying in the chat here. We got my man Lackey Lukey. First is first. I got you on the board. You have your 46th win of the year. Congratulations to you, my friend. Probably, I don't know. Where's WebDro? WebDro hasn't won in a while, 43. So you're right there. It's good. Still a contest, and Tim Baker is quietly running up there. We got Mike Dupoint here. Shout out to Mike Dupoint. He said 2025 is a year of soul fun meme, which I guess another launch pad. Not really sure what that is. Arita is here. Shout out to Rita with TK. He said, what's thought if someone creates a utility project for NAT with staking and stuff? So let me ask you this then. What is the incentive? So in order to build something, you need to have devs and you need to have some type of funding, unless you're going to fund it yourself. What is the incentive to build a utility for NAT? Like, there is none. So why would anyone do that?
Number go up.
Is that enough incentive, though, when the miners are dumping on you? So all you're doing is pumping the bags of the miners who will eventually dump on you.
Yeah, I don't know. They would have to come up with something for sure that would be, you know.
And if you're going to create utility for NAT, why wouldn't you just create your own token and then do that and then create utility? It just doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like the bitmap theory, right? Why would anyone build for bitmap when then you can just sell land, right? You can see things like Limitless, for instance, right? He said he's building for bitmap, but then he came out and sold land and then dipped, right? So it's kind of like, it's one of those things where it's like there's no incentive, man. Incentive drives innovation, and until there's incentive, there's no incentive to hold NAT. I mean, especially when the miners can just dump it in any liquidity pool.
Yeah, they would have to come up with something, pretty valuable. And that's another thing too, is that like the incentive for our space for staking more specifically and holding, I guess, needs to continually just have more substance and value to it, right? So like Ethereum and Solana, they've kind of created that based on it, you get that. You know what I mean? Like you get that token and you earn that by, being a part of their proof of stake. But like our space definitely needs to do better. And I think there's some, because now we can actually talk about genuine revenue share. That's not a scary phrase anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that becomes a bigger deal than people are giving it credit for, because I think they look at it right now and be like, we've heard some people try that. It's not the same. Like if you, in the past, they couldn't even do that really. I mean, because SEC would probably look at them if they got big to the point to where revenue share even mattered, because revenue share only matters once the protocol is making enough revenue to where it matters. The SEC would have shut them down as quick as possible. But now, because this might be, acceptable, we can hopefully count on that, as being like a big, substance of value. If you stake that token, then you share revenue for something like Hyperliquid in the future, or Hustle talks about it. Hyperliquid's kind of doing that with buying the token back. But what if they did it as in like a dividend or something like that as well?
Well, then you run the risk of it being a security. You say the word dividend, you run the risk of being a security, and then you get to pass the Howey test and stuff like that. So if you just buy back the token, it's a way around being a security, because that passes the Howey test.
Right. So in a sense, it is a revenue share, especially if you're holding. Yeah, obviously, if you're holding Hyperliquid, it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that's kind of like Hyperliquid's way around. That's like the way around dividends. Because you say the word dividend, you'll be considered a security, right? And you have to maybe there's that fence is getting smaller and smaller, that security fence, and maybe it'll eventually go away. But right now, under the laws,
I was thinking about the same thing. Like the fence is getting smaller, and maybe they come up with something. But you're right. As of right now, The black and white.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
So, but we'll see. Arita says maybe a miner decides to, yeah, a miner could do it like that. That would be incentive because they are earning this token. But then they're building for L1, and that's something we've never seen them do before, right? They've never ever came out and built anything, not even an NFT project, nothing on layer 1. They don't give a shit about layer 1.
Their incentive wasn't attractive enough, I think. Does that ever happen?
Double block reward? I mean, that should be when they were getting for 3 months.
What, Fractal?
What's up?
What Fractal? Are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about the miners. The miners.
Yeah, but they were
how's that not incentivized?
Well, because they were like, okay, these builders have it. These builders are doing it. You know what I mean? And for them, they would have to create a new department of developers and stuff like that. I agree that they probably should have done that, or should be doing some sort of encouragement. But also maybe they're getting pressure from bigger people, to stay out of it.
Yeah, but who cares if you're just going to add a hash power? Who they can't tell you to do shit. What are they going to do? Take your hash power away? No, they can't take your hash power away. It's just, the business model stays on. Arita says, or a group of miners. Yeah, that's just my ultimate argument, and my argument goes away completely if they build for L1, right? And I obviously want them to, but right now I'm F them. Let's go to Spark. Let's go to Merlin. Let's go to Botonics. There's no reason to. I'm never doing a Bitcoin transaction fee that's larger than just sending Bitcoin from spot to spot. Like, I'm not doing it anymore.
I bet you participate if something's like really like
I'm done, bro. I'm done. And I mean, like, what on L1 in the future, in the next 3 months, is even attractive? There's nothing.
Well, I'm just saying, if the ordinal ecosystem exploded, I'm just saying, if, like, this is hypothetical. That wouldn't be.
Yeah.
And you had an opportunity to get into like a collection early or something like that.
Probably not. I feel like the Spark NFTs have more potential to do well than the Bitcoin does. Because if you're able to bridge them to Bitcoin L1, then I'll just buy them on Spark and not have to pay the transaction fee.
I mean, if you can bridge them to L1.
That's what I'm saying, right? So it's like,
yeah. Arita had some good points, though. You hit on every single one, because it like flowed into the thing.
It did. This
next one, you're like, and that's what I mean.
So yeah, that's exactly. Well, yeah, let's move along now. Lackey Lukey again. Shout out to you. Bitcoin is truth is here. Abstract says, please look into abstract coins and NFTs. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. Or maybe we'll dive a little bit into what's happening. I haven't been looking at the NFTs. The coins. We were talking about the coins. No. Because I thought you said Abster, but you said Aster. So we weren't really talking about the coins today. We'll look into it. Abstract. Chips and Dip is here. Satoshi Nakamoto says, market is not coming. Bull market is not coming. It's here. All right, sign me up, bro. Spindrift is here. He says 1TK staking vault. So right now it is the past staking. So probably in about 10 days we'll have Raul get the other one up. Maybe early next week. So at the end of this month. Vader Time is here. Shout out to Vader Time. Tim Baker, he said, hard to catch Lackey, my guy. Mats is here. Glasshopper said, OG Pass staked. Missed out on the TK stake vault. My OG was in a different Express wallet, and it staked no problem. Weird. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I think I know what it is, though. I think it's the wallet address of the SegWit. Right, I think that's the problem. I think if you have to change it to the one that starts with BC1Q or something.
I thought they default changed that for everybody.
I think that's the problem, though. I think like the older wallets are having no problem, but the newer wallets with the default, I think maybe we'll ask Raul about that. Chief Axel says, GM, I staked my OG pass. Let's effing go. Let's effing go, bro. Glasshopper said, so a new TK vault will open before the current one is finished. So I'm guessing you mean like when you can get your TK out of it. Yeah. You're not getting your TK until November, and we're gonna open up the next one in October, right? So yeah, so it's gonna go way before it. So so you won't be able to, but we'll probably do another one in the future.
I think he wants to know if he has an opportunity, because he missed the first one because his wallet situation. So you will have an opportunity before the other one.
100%. Stan said, with Google's announcement of enabling stablecoins for AI on their tech, can Agent Hustle benefit? Thanks. Yeah, I don't remember. So, what I'm thinking is it's the L2, it's the Web 2, because Hustle can already do that. Hustle already has a built-in wallet. So the AIs that are built on Web 2 can trade using the Coinbase's wallet. I think that was the opportunity that opened up.
I mean, I'm sure that the hustle guys, unless there's some, blocking from the Google corporation to not, get, you can't purchase APIs or you can't integrate tech. I'm sure that they know they would be able to figure that out, how to integrate, because you basically would need to integrate their AI into Hustle though. Because but I think what they're going to be using this for is going to be more of like Google Shopping and stuff, right? Because it's going to be Google's AI product, right? Which is Gemini or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Gemini. And they're going to have stable coins integrated into that. And this is speculating, but this is what logically is coming to my brain. And then like whenever you shop online, and you can just use the stable coin, right? So, Google has a shopping section of their business, and you can just shop directly from there. Or maybe and then this is, honestly, Google, they probably could partner with like Amazon and all these people for this. What do you think? Is this a threat? In a sense, not to hustle. I'm talking about a threat into like Web3 payments, like Privy and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's a threat. It's just going to be like basically the next integration of what Stripe is building. Stripe is building, they want to eventually take it away from the Web 2 model, how credit cards work, and actually have every credit card just with stable coins in them. And then when you react, you're just buying and selling things with stable coins. They basically just want to take it from the credit card model to stable coin model. I think it's the same thing with these AI models. The AI model would basically just do the transactions for you. So when you do swipe your card, there's the stable coins that are in the card or in that account that the card is representing will now be able to free flow, and the AI will take care of it for you. I think it's just making it easier for Web 2 users to use the crypto rails. I don't think it's really a threat.
Yeah, I just don't know why. So to answer your question, in my opinion, and you can answer it the way you see it, I don't know why Agent Hustle would want to integrate this in, because I think they wouldn't really benefit much from it.
Well, no.
You know what I mean?
All Agent Hustle has to do is add the Coinbase wallet. It's basically just having a Coinbase wallet attached.
Yeah, what you wouldn't. So they wouldn't even need to integrate this into their stuff, right?
No,
plus
that's what I'm saying. This is a Web 2 thing.
Yeah, because in their whole business model is going to be more, in my opinion, it's going to have to retail people for Web3, and then enterprise possibly for Web3 enterprise. So I don't think that it would make sense. But who knows?
Hustle already has a built-in wallet. Like, it doesn't
multiple.
Yeah, it's gonna have an ETF very soon. Trade says dog ETF coming. Let's focus on getting listed on some exchanges first, there, buddy. Kraken just isn't enough, obviously. Stan says, does Vitalik continue to develop on ETH, or is he retired? Buddy,
developing.
I feel like Stan watches the show every day. Like, he doesn't pay attention, because it's one of those things where we talked about it yesterday that Vitalik is basically
in Japan.
He's in Japan. He gave us big 2-hour thing about the upgrades that are coming to ETH and stuff like that. And they just announced today their AI standard, right? So
ERC 8,000 or something.
Yeah.
So I don't think he'll go away for a while until he feels like. Maybe never. Some of them. Look at the CEOs of Microsoft.
Yeah, Vitalik is the CEO of the foundation, right? He's the CEO of the Ethereum Foundation. So ETH, he's always developing for ETH, and he's paying the foundation, stuff like that. So Remy U is here. Shout out to Remy U. Stan is here. Shout out to Stan. Well, I said you. I'll talk to you in a second. Murkos is here. I think I said that right. Right, Murkos.
Miracos. Yeah.
Cash Cats is here with Dog Go to the Moon. Shout out to you, my friend.
Oh, you didn't do the thing.
I'm so tired of Dog. Joko's here. Shout out to Joko. Man. Myself is here. You can do it. Go ahead. You gotta say it.
It's like coffee and the donuts and the Dog Go to the Moon. We gotta do it for our guy Coach Cat.
I love Cash, man, but I'm just so tired of the Bitcoin ecosystem. Myself is here. Shout out to myself. P.O. Bog is actively injecting liquidity. Way more than the Fed. Expect more China. Yeah, that's why freaking China's on fire right now. They're injecting money into their system right now, relentlessly. They do not care about inflation. They're just piling it in and just changing the numbers. So inflation doesn't exist technically.
And Matt, that actually kind of gets me bullish about like us, right? Because I feel like we haven't even had those aggressive events yet. Plus, we were tailing the UK and Europe on rate cuts, and we just now started. So let's see.
100%. Myself says I believe they forced a CZ back to Binance. I mean, I don't know. When you have that kind of money, you can't be forced to do shit. You have to want to do it. TK says, Matt says TK. Matt's GM, guys. TK to the moon. Let's go. Send TK to the moon. Patty Poo is here. Shout out to Patty Poo. Myself is here. Says in 2018, lots of KOLs were flooding people out of BNB when it was $5 and the literal bottom at the bear market. Damn. I didn't know that. That's wild. Cash Cat says all the green and my portfolio sucks. Yeah, because it's all runes, man. All the green and my portfolio. Yeah, all that green and my port. Yeah, I agree, dude. I'm in the same boat. Like it sucks. Definitely.
But
sucks.
you have to understand, like the crypto bubbles that we're looking at, the top 300. There's so many. There's 85 million tokens right now. First of all, so like when you talk about, like let's say runes, for example, do you have any representation? You have dog that is ranked 200, right? Same thing with a lot of these other ones. Like for example, Solana probably has the most tokens that has representation in the top 300. You probably have about 6 to 8 or something like that. 6 maybe, but maybe more too, because they have like utility stuff, right? But other than that, like every other token, a lot of them are some ERC20s, and or some of them are their own chain and stuff like that. So don't feel too bad about like your portfolio that might be in an ecosystem that's not thriving yet. This is kind of that level of some of these mid caps that are starting to see the benefits of it. But I can understand the frustration, but I wouldn't say count your portfolio out.
I would say if you don't have exposure to other things like AI and stuff like that, I think you should start winding down some of these runes positions and trying to getting into some stuff with actual, building and actual incentive. I think meme coins are something that are kind of fading right now, especially on Solana. Now it's just all these, streamer coins. That's all that's really popping. And I don't think meme coins really have that pump. I mean, streamer coins, so they're backed by a streamer, and that streamer goes offline, the coin goes to shit, right?
Yeah, but they're just worthless. I feel like a lot. They're not.
Still, they're not meme coins. Though. I think they have their own category of streamer coins. I think that's kind of what they are. But at the end of the day, it's very similar. Right? I'll give it that. But I just think that the meme coins, up for no reason type of thing, community coin stuff. I just don't see. I mean, there's no KOLs pumping meme coins now. Now they're all just pumping their own streamer coins, right? So that's the thing. I just think I'm so bearish on meme coins right now, and obviously it's all runes are. Liquidium, I'm very bullish on Liquidium. I do think they have to bridge out of Bitcoin though. I think they have to become an ERC20 token or a Solana token. I just don't see them having success just being a rune for that sense, but I think they could easily bridge out with no problem, especially now they're building on ICP and they're building on ETH as well. So I don't know. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I just don't think I am. And I also think you should have exposure to things outside. Otherwise, you might miss the bull run.
And then you have new stuff too. Like we're gonna dive into the Spark ecosystem and see. I think that's actually like talk about trying to time it. Like we talked about Arch Network and some of these others. Are they trying to time it? We figured out that like some of it might be a little bit, but a lot of it has to do with technical issues. Not them specifically, but I'm talking about builders. But it seems like the timing is like coming into place with Spark. We're gonna see, and they're being tight-lipped about it too. It's like they're not saying a date or anything, but they're just saying it's soon, it's coming, and then so we're gonna see if they're gonna pull what was that thing that they bought, and they said that runes was going to be on there. Remember that application or whatever?
Moonshot, right? Was it Moonshot?
No.
Remember
Slingshot. And I almost wonder if that's even worth it for them to acquire that anymore. You know what I mean?
No, it's not. I mean, unless they put Spark tokens over there, because they'll have liquidity pools. That might be huge, dude. That might be huge for Spark tokens. I didn't even think about that. The fact that they can be trading on Slingshot.
Yeah, but let's get the launch of the launch pad first. I feel like that's very important, and then see how the
I mean,
goes with that.
But that's going to be so easy for them, right? Like, it's
Oh,
so
it
right
will
now
be.
they're working on. So I think they have everything ready. They're working on FlashNet. So what's happening right now? Why it's not launched yet is FlashNet. After it crashed from the UTXO.fund, they actually sent in the code in to get checked. What is it called? Audited. So they're waiting for audits to come back. So that was the problem. They put it out pre-audited, and they're like, "Damn, we should have got this audited." So now they would send it out, and they've made the changes they needed to change on the stress test. They send it out. Now it's getting audited, and then once it comes back audited, they're going to be good to go. So I do think it's going to be potentially a couple more weeks before SparkNet or FlashNet goes live.
Why would they release that without being audited though?
Pressure testing it. Imagine sending it to the audit, and then the audit finding all the stuff, and then you got to pay again. Right, so you put it out, you let people crash it, you figure out the problems, and then get it audited. I think it's kind of smart.
Yeah, but it also kind of like lost some faith in people. You were like at first like completely not in on it.
Yeah. I mean hopefully they picked the changes, right? So I was pissed that night because I felt like I missed some opportunity, but then everything else it didn't. So they handled it well with like not putting any tokens out. It would have sucked if I like missed out. If I was there on time, had my transaction ready, and still missed out.
You got refund, right?
Nobody refund, 100% refund.
Okay.
Every penny. So they definitely did that right. All right, the last thing we're going to do here is I just want to check something every day because I think it's really important to kind of check. Go to categories, right? And then we're going to check what do you think is the number one category? I haven't looked either, but the way that what's the name? The Binance Smart Chain is moving. I'm going to say Binance Smart Chain category is number one. What do you think? What do you think it is?
I know it's not AI because it's when we looked at this.
Yeah, it's definitely not AI. For me, I was either thinking it was going to be Perps or I was thinking it's going to be Binance.
Is launchpads aren't a category, are they? Or memes?
They probably are.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just throw it. Let's see what it is.
Probably Perps. I saw that Binance IDO wallet thing. So
yeah,
what's that number? It says number 83 though.
It's number. Yeah, but it's 24 hours. I'm going by. So in the last 24 hours, Binance Smart IDO is the leading performer. So
look who's on that. Hemi's on that too.
Yeah, Hemi is. Yep, because they have IDO.
Yeah, and so I wonder if they're gonna.
Hemi must have a token. Yeah.
Well, and if they're gonna have a token, they do. They already launched. Yep. What's the market cap? 60 million.
Yeah, not bad.
So that's a Bitcoin layer too.
Yep. Mix is obviously the number one in here as well. So pretty cool. And then just kind of looking at the other category winners from the last 24 hours, decentralized. So DEXs are up 10%. That's pretty cool to see. And this is kind of something that I'm going to be really paying attention to going forward. Kind of say, oh, that's why Aster just killing it right now, up 455% on the day. $1.20. Is that right? It was just 70. Damn, the last hour it's up 56%.
So wait, what is the mix then? I thought that was. Is mix not the same thing as Aster?
No, mix is something completely different.
I wonder if
education is up 400. What is this?
4,000.
It's just up 4,000% in the last minute. That's crazy. Binance. So mix is
that chart looks so bad.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what this is, but yeah, I remember we looked at it yesterday. Wasn't it something like trade alpha permissionless?
That's why I thought this was the Aster.
No,
because it's talking about perps and stuff. It's interesting.
Yeah. Aster's, man. Aster is running. That's crazy. I kind of want to go to that site real quick. Let me just go over to Aster and just make sure that is right, because that might just be a glitch. Because yeah, it's a glitch because it's 75 cents on Aster. So that must be a glitch. But yeah, man, that is our show today. Love it. We have 295 people in here with you guys, man. Absolutely amazing. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us each and every day. We really, really appreciate you guys, man. Absolutely awesome. And looking forward to hopefully a bullish day the rest of the day and tomorrow as well.
Yeah, it looks like it. Ethereum's definitely bouncing back up at 46.33. So looking pretty good. But like Shizzy said, appreciate each and every one of you guys watching. Without you guys, we could not do this. We want to, make sure we remind you guys every single day, and we are thankful for that. But we're also thankful for our partners because they allow us to be able to do this Monday through Friday as well. If you could check them out, we would greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to swap for runes, if you're looking to swap for alkanes, and very, very soon, if you're looking to swap for Spark tokens, you're going to be able to do so at satsterminal.com. They make it very easy to find the most liquidity and allow you to swap for tokens like in a DEX environment. So make sure you're doing it over there. Also, you're going to earn Amber points, and Amber points are going towards a give back for early adopters of the platform. So make sure you take advantage of that. Next Tuesday, I believe is whenever Stan said, they're going to be having the beta version of their borrowing and lending a product that you can borrow against your Bitcoin. So make sure you guys check that out as well. Head over to statsterminal.com today. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability layer for the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to jump your Bitcoin ordinals or Bitcoin NFTs like counterparty NFTs to Ethereum, you got to use Emblem Vault. They have experience since 2015 in doing this. But you can take a loan out against your Taproot Wizards on Ethereum using the Gandhi application, and I'm sure that they're going to open up to more collections as well from Bitcoin. Also, the Emblem team is going to open up to other layers as well in the future. Abstract, Base, Arbitrum, possibly Merlin, Bitcoin Layer 2 as well. These are, environments they've kind of hinted a little bit towards. Also, Solana is on that roadmap as well. And speaking of Solana, they have the best AI product in the entire Solana ecosystem in Agent Hustle. If you head over to agenthustle.ai, you can use Hustle for free. It is limited in terms of the tool set for the free version, but you can use it for free to ask questions like, hey, Hustle, find me some safe 2 to 5x plays in the Solana ecosystem. He'll bring back you a couple options and why he thinks that these are safe. Also, you can use them for conditional trading. You can, set some conditional trades like, hey, buy Fartcoin when it pulls back a certain percentage, and sell it when I'm up a certain percentage. And he'll take care of that for you as you're handling your errands, working out at the gym, whatever you need to do. He will handle it for you. Also, there is another product within the Hustle ecosystem called Migrate.Fund. If you launched a token on Solana, on a Solana launchpad that locks liquidity up, Migrate.Fund can help you migrate to a new launchpad or manage your own LP, because you earn the most when you manage your own LP. They're about to start their first cohort. I know they onboarded a couple of teams in that, so you can kind of check that out and see how that goes for some of them, right? They actually did it for their own project as well. So the team is awesome, very competent, amazing leadership as well. So make sure you check out Migrate.Fund if you're looking to migrate your token to another launchpad or manage your own LP there. Also, there is one token that powers all three of their products, soon to be four, I believe, as well, called Agent Hustle. It is a Solana token, and you can get a discount if you get a subscription and pay in Hustle token. So head over to that, and you can see what the rates are for the discount there. Head over to emblem.vision to learn about everything Emblem Vault, Hustle, Migrate.Fund, all their products there. And then Artura.finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. You need to be following them on X right now because they're going to be announcing some things about their TGE. Really exciting stuff about that. Right now, they have a trading competition, though, on their platform where first place gets 5,000 USDC, and the next couple winners will split another 5,000 USDC as well. So make sure you are taking advantage of that. They are live on Botanix, Bitcoin Layer 2, and Botanix could be tracking your activity on their chain as well. So if you're using the platform Artura.finance for the competition or whatever, just using it in general, you'll earn points from the Botanix side as well, as they're going to be doing a huge Bitcoin airdrop in the near future as well. So head over to Artura.finance to learn more today. And then we got Tokyo Wallet, which is the multi-chain smart wallet. The team is building for the best UI and UX. Right now, they support 3 ecosystems: Bitcoin, Cardano, and Sui. You can swap for tokens that they partnered with all 3 ecosystems DEX aggregator swaps, right? It's right there integrated into their application. You can swap for Bitcoin runes. You can swap for Cardano tokens and then Sui tokens. And I'm sure they're going to be opening up to other ecosystems. Like I said, this is supposed to be the one-stop shop wallet. So if you have an Apple iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store. If you have an Android, head over to the Google Play Store. Download the application, test it out, let us know what you think. And also they have a token, Toke, that powers their ecosystem, and you can stake it directly in their application as well. Head over to Tokyo.io to dive in there. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength through the power of AI. They have their Wizard 2.0, which is their AI tool in the Merlin ecosystem, but it also grabs data and information from other chains. So you can swap for Solana tokens, BNB tokens directly from Merlin Chain. As long as you have some Bitcoin in the Merlin Chain ecosystem, you can swap for that. Also, you can pull some data like, hey, Wizard, find me the top 10 holders of Fartcoin, and the Wizard will pull you the addresses with whatever they're holding, all the information that you requested directly in there. So make sure you're taking advantage of that AI tool as well. And they have 3 amazing staking products as their proof of stake system. You can stake Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin. This is a very popular product. Institutions have invested $55 million into actually utilizing Merlin Chain to help them stake Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin. But as a retail user, you can do so as well, and you'll earn 16% APR on average. This first Bitcoin staking vault will close September 30th, but I'm sure they will open a new one as well. And then there are 2 options on staking Merlin Chain token as well. There's the flexible, which is a day-to-day. You earn 15% APR on that. You can claim your rewards every single day, and you can compound interest at it if you want, or just hold on to your rewards. But it does take 7 days if you want to withdraw for the flexible program there. There is a 6-month program as well called the Bonded, and it is a 45% APR. Same thing, though. You can claim your rewards daily and then compound interest those. Super exciting stuff. This team is going to be at Korea Blockchain. I'm sure they are there already. So if you want to say hello, swing by their booth. And they're constantly grinding, guys. Head over to merlinchain.io to learn more today. And lastly is our guys from Ordinal Hive, Fonzie and his team. They are the fastest Ordinal marketplace in the industry. If you buy an Ordinal, you get it right away. They're trying to get the Bitcoin from the seller side to the seller ASAP as well. So that's something they're working on. They also have a Ordinal collection that they launched about 2 weeks ago called the Ordinal Bees, fully minted out. About 60-70% are staked right now. And they have information that they're going to be releasing about their Hive token as well. So make sure you guys are following them. They have some amazing trader tools as well. So you can grab something from the mempool that's mispriced real fast. They have all that for you to take advantage of. So head over to ordinalhive.io today to learn more. And don't forget, they do have a space. It's at 2 p.m. Eastern time on X. If you want to join that, we'll be in there as well. Thank you guys for checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job, man. As always, and you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out OnChainRevolution.io. OnChainRevolution.io. For some reason up here it says Ordinal Revolution on the tab. But yeah, I just noticed that for the first time. So check out OnChainRevolution.io, and we got some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering your space, please send them our website. We really feel we can help them get started and code up to what we're doing today. Brand new article here: USDC settled Bitcoin and ETH options. This is huge. Options are going to be massive in crypto, and this 3-4 minute read will get you right through it. They're teaching you guys exactly what is going on and how to be prepared for something like that. And then we have articles every single week, so check those out every single week, guys. And on top of that, we have a VPN. If you guys are looking to get a VPN, it's to use Hyperliquid or use MEXC. These are exchanges that allow you to use them as long as you're not in certain geo locations. But having a VPN can put you in any geo location there, and you guys can get this one for $3.09 a month. You can lock it in for 2 years, set it, forget it, be done with it. Do not go to the site and pay $11.59. Use our link here and get it for $3.09. Really appreciate you guys when you use that link. It definitely helps the show. So go over there, get your VPN today. And on top of that, if you guys need merch for any event going forward, we have all types of stuff here. We're going to be adding new stuff as well. So check everything out here at OnChainRevolution.io. And remember, guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. And until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution roll call. Market recap. You not bullish enough, no. You not bullish enough, no. Look look at the price go. Bitcoin control me. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear traps. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain revolution.